what we talk in the first part, all three common features combined, and at least you know what are the. Now, among Hinduism, no, between the among Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, what are the differences? And that's what what I want to discuss it. Okay. The first two charts are the common features, which I'm not going to take it. It's already repeat of the charts. But here is the Brahman system or Hinduism. Okay. Now, I am not mixing Hindu culture with Hindu religion. I'm only talking about the Hindu religion. But it is still such a vast religion. Then you can see how the things are practiced under the umbrella of Hinduism. Ism is the religion point of view. Okay, not under the Hindu culture. Because these Hindu words are used interchangeably both ways. Okay, instead of saying no Bharatiya culture. Okay, something like that. Okay, but this is no from Sindhu River, and we are on this side of the Sindhu River, and this is how, if you read the history, that's what has happened. So it's been used that way. So God, how does the Hinduism explains God? God is a creator, God is a preserver, and God is a destroyer. Hindu thinks it's a cyclic, as opposed to Judeo-Christianity, it's a linear. God was there. He created one point in time, the universe. Okay? And it's only not a cyclic. It's just once he has created and once he will destroy it and matter will be over. That is their philosophy of thinking. Okay? While Hindu creator, preserver, and destroyer is a like continuous going. Oh, Brahma creates it, Vishnu preserves it, and Shiva is the destroyer. Okay, cycling. The second important point here, God is universe and universe is God. Synonymous. What it means, it is we use the word that Hindu God created the universe, but the creation is not a proper word or proper meaningful word for Hindus. God becomes the universe. The difference, God created, you got like God is a different and universe is different. But if God becomes the universe, then God is a upada. Okay, God is not the nimit. In the first case, Judeo-Christianity case, God is a nimit. And he created the universe. So God is different than the universe. In Hindu philosophy, God and universe is the same. Brahma becomes the universe. Brahma becomes the universe. It is not he created it. When he becomes the universe, every part, every component is a Brahma, is a God. If you believe that the Brahma becomes the universe, then what happens? Every component of the universe is part of the God. If you believe this concept properly and truly, there is no difference between me and you. There is no difference between one human being to another human being because we are all part of the God. If you truly believe it, whom are you going to cheat? Whom are you going to lie? I'm lying to myself. I'm cheating to myself. That is the point. Okay, if you truly understand the meaning of the Hindu God and creation, and you truly believe it, then do they need any 5 great vows? They don't. Okay. Similarly, many of the principles you will see it is built into one sentence. You just say it is all Brahman. All right. So we will, when we discuss Jainism, what are the good points for the Jainism? We'll talk about it. Means each religion has their own good points, and each religion has their own, like depends upon how you look at it. And that is the beauty of Anekantvad. Anyway, Anekantvad does not tell you, I am the great. That is the violation of the Anekantvad right from the beginning. Okay. At liberation, soul merges with God or universe. Soul becomes infinite. We discuss it now, this statement off and on in the past. But when you liberate, because all three have beliefs in liberation. Okay, three religions. At liberation, the soul, what happens to the soul? Jainism explains one way, Buddhism explains another way, and Hinduism explains third way. Here we are talking only for Hindu concept of liberation. That soul merges with God. You become one with the God. You lose your identity and you are merging in Brahman. So you become part of the Brahman. So there is no, like, as opposed to Buddhism and Jainism. We will discuss that. Okay. So that is the belief. Hindu is like highly ritualistic, elaborate and fancy ritual. If you have seen that, even though Jains have started competing about 5 hours of rituals type things, okay, ceremony, the whole situation going on. Okay, I don't want to elaborate. I just want to proceed further. Okay, the scriptures have certain authority in the initial stage of the spiritual progress. In the beginning, you practice the from the scripture, but after certain understanding, okay, you are your own spiritual teacher. The scriptures are Vedas, 4 Vedas, Upanishad, anywhere between 7 to 108 Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita is the one book which is nothing but the chapter of big epic Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but one chapter of Mahabharata. Okay. And that's where the Lord Krishna teaches Jainism, Arjun, his disciple Arjun, how to act knower and observer and do all your duty without any expectation. Brahma Sutra is written by Badnarayan. So these are the 4, actually there are significant number of textbooks which they treat as a scripture. But these 4, okay, Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, and Brahma Sutra get the highest regards. Okay, and all the scriptures are in Sanskrit. System of philosophy. Hinduism does not have a one system of philosophy like what Jains or Christians and other religions face. Islam, okay. There are 6 systems of philosophy. The first three of that, Yoga, Sankhya, and Nyaya. Nyaya is logic, okay? Yoga philosophy is the path of meditation and effort. And Yoga Sutra, it is written by sage Patanjali. That is a very standard text for yoga. Jainism has yoga. Jainacharyas, several prominent Jainacharyas have written several books on yoga. And they all use sage Patanjali's Yoga Sutra book. Okay. In fact, Acharya Haribhadra Surya, the 7th century Acharyas, indicating in a Yog Bindu, his book, Bhagwan Patanjali, he indicates that way. Okay. Jaina Acharyas are indicating, writing a book and telling it, the Hindu sage, Bhagwan Patanjali. Okay. Significant work is done by several Jain Acharyas. Acharya Hemchandracharya, besides Haribhadra Surya, Hemchandracharya has written the Yoga Shastra, not Sutra. Or Yoga Sutra is Patanjali, Yoga Shastra. Most on the 12th century work is the greatest work for Jain Yoga. And he is explaining Yoga Sutra of Patanjali very well in that one. Okay, and put it in all the Jain form. Yasho Vijayji, they have written several Yoga Sutras. The person just recently passed away, Dhiridlal Panditji, he has translated all that book and put the comment in his collection of about 40 books he has written in his life. All the yoga books are there, okay, every one of them. And that's the importance of the yoga. There are some acharyas just saying yoga is not Jain. That is not true. Significant work is done by Jain acharyas and Jain scholars, and all these important things, it is Jain, that's why I am practicing, or it is right things to do, that's why I am practicing. The Bhagavan Mahavir says, it is whatever it is right things for you, you practice that, that is Jainism. It is not like, because here it is said, whether by doing this, if your kasha is reduced within you, then it is all Jain. Important thing is not from where you are practicing it. Important things is what is the end result, whatever practicing what you're doing. Are you becoming more spiritual? Is your anger is reduced? Is your greed is reduced? Okay, in your life. If that is occurs, even by reading Quran, if your greed is reducing, okay, then Quran is nothing but for you, it is agam, because you are improving your spirituality from that book. It is a word of Tirthankar. For you, not for everybody. Okay, keep that thing in the mind. Important thing is you in Jainism. The Sankhya philosophy, the path of pure understanding, Sage Kapil. The Sankhya philosophy and the whole Atma philosophy comes from, I would say, I'm not saying comes from in that sense, but the Sankhya philosophy, the Atma philosophy, and Jain Atma philosophy is very parallel, very similar. Okay. The Nyaya school of logic based on the Nyaya Sutra, which is for Akshapad Gautama, is the author. Vaisesik, the atomist school, extension of the Nyaya logics. Now, some of the things are in the books. I indicated it here. You wouldn't find many practitioner Hindu that practices Vaisesik type things. But Sage Kannad is the one, at one time, significant followers were there. Earlier Mimamsa, the tradition of Vedic interpretation with emphasis on Vedic ritual. And later on, the sages may have emphasis putting not in the Vedic rituals, but Vedic philosophy. And that came in Upanishads, which is a later Mimamsa. Vedanta, the Upanishadic tradition with emphasis on Vedic philosophy. And there are four main sections of the Vedic philosophy. It is Shaivism, Shaktism, Vaishnavism, and the liberalism. Okay, the people who follow Shiva, which is mostly now concentrated in southern part of the India, and Shakti. Shakti is a female aspect, energy aspect of the philosophy, which is the tantric. The whole tantric things that comes in Hinduism, it is a Shaktiism. Okay. Then Vaishnavism, the people following the Lord Vishnu, the preserver, and liberalism, which is the Brahman. Okay. There is not that many temples in India, either one or two. The temple of Brahma is there, Lord Brahman. Anyway, so these are the 6 systems of the philosophy. Then the primary path, the path of devotion or surrender, Bhakti Yoga. You can see significant proliferation of the Bhakti Yoga in the Hindu system. And it has influenced the Jainism. Jainism got into it more on a bhakti. Originally, bhakti got introduced in Jainism. If you look into it, it is as a tool to reach to the higher spiritual level. But Jainism is a path of the Gnan Yoga, okay? Knowledge base, okay? Contemplation. That is the path. But bhakti got introduced later on, and today most of our rituals are heavily bhakti oriented, okay? The path of knowledge, because Hinduism has all those various things. Every component, what you find it, Bhakti Yoga, Gnan Yoga, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is not like philosophy of karma or anything. It is the direct dedication of every human activity to supreme will. You are doing something good for the sake of good, not because you are going to get good karma, or not because you are getting something, in return, better life in the next life or something like that. Okay. You are doing it because it is right things to do. That's it, and nothing else. That is the karma yoga. And the path of self-control or meditation, which is the Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is the yoga things we discussed it a little bit before, couple of charts before. Okay. The liberation through the perfection of body, thought, emotions, and consciousness. The Raj Yoga or Yoga Marg or Ashtanga Yoga So all same, which is yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. And ultimately, samadhi is the liberation. Okay. So that's these four different parts, if you analyze it, it covers the entire human personality. Some of us are bhakti oriented, dedication type things. Some of us are gnan oriented. Some of us action oriented. Okay. And some of us are meditative in that one. So it is Hinduism provides you every human personality the method to improve and attain the liberation. Okay, that's a very everything is right in that Hinduism. Duties of the individual, caste system, priests and intellectuals is a Brahmins, rulers and warriors are Kshatriyas, merchants and artisans are Vaishyas, production of the national wealth, and Sudras to do the menial work. Later on, initially, their intent was at least classifying everybody's profession. But then it became the birthplace, okay? If you're born Brahmin, you are, regardless whether you deserve or not, okay? You are a pious person. You can only perform the rituals and nobody else, okay? It is that kind of the Kshatriya. You are the warriors, okay? You got to protect the nation, okay? So that's the one when you have attached the profession and caste is one thing, but when birth you are given, then things get really not so good result from the caste systems, and it becomes a shame on Hinduism. Duties at the various stages of life. Student life, brahmacharya ashram. Okay, everything gets well defined. Like in brahmacharya ashram, Krishna and Sudama study at the same place, same level, same guru, same things. And they all have to do the same thing, even though one is the son of a king and another is the very poor person. Krishna and Sudama's things type things. So student life, everybody is treated same. Householder life, grahasthashram, worldly success, wealth, fame, power, anything. Retirement life is the vanprasthashram, which is if you use first 25 years is the student life, 25 to 50 years is the householder life, 50 to 75 is the retirement life, which is vanprasthashram, service to the community and fellow men. And then the last 25 years is the renunciation life, sannyasashram, means leave the family, everything, just leave besides, go into the jungle and remain in meditative with the minimum need of the human life. Now we are going to stop here.